Okay, okay, now it's recording. Here I have the option to record on this computer or in Paul. I don't know how to. I'll record on this computer, and then I'll put the video available in the same link as presented in the chat. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Thanks.
Okay. So I'll start this webinar. Good morning, everyone. So the purpose of this webinar is to map some vineyards in Portugal. All the data that you need and all the files for this webinar are presented in the link here, presented in the chat. I'll share my screen. Okay. So when you go to this link, you can download the input files. Output files is a clean folder where you can put all the files that you have produced during the webinar. Output files done, it's a folder where you have all the output files for this webinar in case you want to confirm some data. And here you have some PDF files that show you how to install QGIS, how to download the data. Besides the data it's here, if you want to apply this webinar for other case study, all the data sets can be downloaded here. And here it's basically the protocol for the webinar. Before we start, just let me show you how to download the most important data sets for this webinar. First, it's the Core-in-One Cover 2018, which is an European land use map. Just go to this link. Then you have to register here to download the data. After creating a profile, go to Land Cover and Land Use Mapping, select Core-in-One Cover, and here you can download Core-in-One Cover for different periods, for different years. So I selected the most recent, 2018. Then just click on download and you will have two options. You can download for a specific area or for the entire Europe. For the entire Europe, just select the type of files that you want, raster, vector, or in different geodatabases. Then just go to your chart, okay? Besides, this is like a purchase chart. You don't need to pay for this product, okay? Then click on download. And then you can confirm how it's downloading process. First, it's send a request, then you receive an email telling you that you can download the files, and then just download. For the entire Europe, the package of files that I shown you, the size is around 10 gigabytes, okay? And then just download it. Now, for a specific country, when you don't need so much data, okay, I have done this process for Portugal. Just click here on, go to the download area, and then select the country that you want to download, okay? Left click here. Then you go to the cart, same process, and then click to download. You receive an email confirming that your download is ready to process. And then just download the file. Here you'll find a shapefile, which for Portugal, for this case, and then you have the info table. This info table, this info folder contains table with the labels for Core-in-One Cover. And here you can find that the vineyards have the code 221, okay? So to download the climate data that we are going to use for this webinar, I have chosen the Chelsea dataset, which has a resolution of around 1 kilometer. First, click here on this link. And you have different data sets to download from this website. Go to Feature, click on SMIP6, and then you can first download the technical specifications files, okay, where you have a file that describes all the data that you can download from this data set. And we are going to use two files, one with the mean annual air temperature and another with the annual precipitation amount. So it's bio1, which is a bioclimatic index, and bio12, which is another bioclimatic index. Then to download the data, just go to the same page, click here on download files, and then select the files that you want to use. These are TIFF files, raster files that you can open directly on QGIS. Okay, for the Chelsea Bio1, the units are in Celsius, and for Bio12, the mean annual precipitation are in millimeters of rainfall. Precipitation comes in millimeters because it's like a unit to measure the amount of rainfall sorry, not rainfall, of precipitation that occur during 1 year. According to the Chelsea dataset, the units are kilograms of water per square meter per year. But this is basically the same as millimeters of rainfall per year, okay? And very important, when you use this data set, do not forget to cite the here it's a journal article where they show how this data set was produced, okay? So when you use it on your dissertation, on a manuscript, on a report or anything, just cite it correctly, okay? One more thing. This webinar is going to be just, the purpose is for me to show you how to map the vineyards using QGIS, but then you can and you should try it at home, okay? Before you download QGIS, just let me show you, make sure that you download the long-term release, okay, which is the version 3.2811. This is a stable version which has less bugs, and I really advise to use this one. You can optionally download the newest, but normally the newest versions come with a few more bugs, but it's up to you to select the version. My advice is to choose the long-term release version. Before we start use the geographic information system, just let me make first a small introduction. And then you'll be doing all these steps during this webinar. So I'm talking to you from University of Trás-os-Montes and Alto Douro. I'm doing research with the UDG also, with Professor Marco, Bruna, and Natasha, in the scope of the project Montevitis, where we are assessing the impacts of climate change in viticulture. So for this case study, I selected Portugal just to show you a little bit more of my country, my home country, and about geographic information systems. So geographic information system is basically a software when you can process, create, and store information that is georeferenced, which means that is associated to a location on Earth. We have very different examples of geographic information systems that everyone uses nowadays. We have Google Maps, we have Waze, we have Google Earth, and even we have some dating apps that use geographic information systems to give for people to meet. So as you see, geographic information systems are basically implemented everywhere. But now, not in the scope of research, you have a lot of geographic information systems, softwares that are used. The most known are ArcGIS and QGIS, okay? From these ones, I have only used these two, so I can make a small comparison. I cannot tell you which one of these is better, okay, because they have different advantages and disadvantages. First advantages of QuantumGIS is that it's free, okay, you don't need to pay to use it. The data processing is faster. In terms of tools, in overall, they do the same. ArcGIS has an advantage that is it's easier to use than QuantumGIS, which is just easy to use. But if this is your first experience with a geographic information system software, I recommend to use first QuantumGIS because it's easier to learn ArcGIS when you already know QuantumGIS. But the opposite, it's not so easy. So if your first contact was with ArcGIS and then you are going to learn QuantumGIS, this transition is a little bit harder than the opposite. So here you have some of the data sources of the data sets that we are going to use. The data files for this webinar are presented here, basically. We have 3 shapefiles, one with the land use map, another with the districts of Portugal and also the Portugal shapefile, and we have the wine regions, which are shapefiles. We're going to use 2 raster files here, both bioclimatic indexes, the mean annual average temperature, and the annual precipitation. So this is the link that I've shown you on the website. Just click on it and then transfer the files for this webinar. After you install QGIS, it's very easy to start the software. Then let's go for this part. So just go here, QGIS, and click on the icon. Okay, first let's start a new empty project. So we have here a lot of boxes here. First thing that I'm going to show you, sometimes we close these boxes and then we don't know how to put them back again. So to do this, just go here to view, and then these boxes are associated to panels or toolbars, okay? In case some of these boxes disappears from your project, just go here and add it. Here it was the processing toolbox. So first thing, I'm going to show you how to install a plugin. QuantumGIS comes with a lot of tools that are already implemented in the software, but then you have other tools that you have to install to make them available to you. We are going to install first the Quick Map Services, which is a plugin that allows you to have some base maps on your project. So first you go here to plugins, manage and install. Here we have the installed ones, the ones that are not installed, and here you have all the available plugins. And then type Quick Map Services. Click on the plugin. I already have it installed, but just let me show you how easy it's to install. Just click here and then install plugin. And this just take some brief moments. Okay, and then you have the plugin available. Here you can search for different base maps. I'm just going to show you one of them. Which is the Sentinel-2. Okay, this one is good for our project. Okay, and now you have a base map, a satellite image of Earth. You can also go for other base maps. Just click here on web. Here you have the plugin that we have installed. Then you can add a different base map, okay? So like this. But I'm going to use the satellite image, so let me remove this from the project. Okay, well now let's add a folder to the favorites to make it easy to access, okay? So this is the folder from the link. We have here the input files that we want to use in this webinar. To make it a favorite, just go here, add the directory. I have put this folder on the desktop, which is the QGIS webinar. Click, which here is this folder, and then select folder. Okay, and then we have here all the files. We have here the input files. Now, I'll be showing you how to add a file to your project. You have different ways. Okay, the easiest way is just to click here, left click, drag it to the project, and then drop it. Okay, and now we have a shapefile with the borders of Portugal. Now I'm going to remove it and show you another way to add the file. Can go here to, this is a shapefile. Okay, so you have to select here vector. If it is a raster file, you can add it selecting in raster. So click on vector. No, sorry, it's not this one. It's here, layer, add a layer, and add a vector layer. So another way to add a file, let's go here, add a layer, select the type of layer that you are going to add. Oh, it's a file. So click here on these three dots, and then you are going to search for the file. The file is here in the QGIS webinar input files. It's a shapefile of Portugal that is in the folder Portugal. And then you have here a lot of files, okay? We have here a lot of files that are associated to the shapefile of Portugal, but you should select the file that ends with SHP. Click it, open, and then add to the project. Okay, and now we have the shapefile of Portugal in our project. Okay, now let's change the symbology, the representation of this shapefile. Left click on the shapefile here in the layer panel. Right click, properties. And then we have the symbology. We can click here on simple fill and change the color. Something like this, maybe. Then just click on apply. Here you can change the border color. Apply. No. And you can make the inside of the representation of the shapefile with different patterns, solid. You can make it like this, dense, or we put it no brush and then it's empty on the inside, okay? Now let's put it this way. Now let's add the shapefile wine regions. Okay, this shapefile contains splits Portugal in different wine regions according to the wine properties. So if let's see first the attribute table of this shapefile, right click, and then open the attribute table. And then you can see here the names of each region. You can select each region to identify it, Alentejo, Algarve, Tejo, Trás-os-Montes. And if you want to unselect, just go here, okay? You select all features. Let's now change the representation of this shapefile properties. It's basically the same way that we've done it for the shapefile Portugal. Let's put it with no fill. And then let's change the color of the outer borders. I'll put it red. Why? Okay. So we can also add a label to see each of the wine regions represented. Go here to show labels. And then you see the labels of each wine region. But as you can see or cannot see, the color, it's not very good. So we have to change it. Go here to properties, labels, and then you can change here the color of the label. Let's put it yellow. Oops. Properties, labels, select yellow and okay. Apply. And now you can see the labels. Okay. As you can see, the attribute table has different fields. We are representing the field RD, but you can also change the field that you are showing on the label. For it. You select the field that you are showing here. You can change it, for example, for the area. Click apply, and then you have the numbers. Then let's put it back again with the name of the region. No, okay, so I'm just trying to follow the protocol according to the one that is presented on the link. Oh, you can also change the symbology of the regions based on the attribute table values. Go here to properties, symbology, and you can, instead of having a single symbol, which means the same symbol for each wine region, you can change it to categorized. Okay. Now we are going to categorize based on the region. Symbol, let's select random colors from this pattern. Okay, you select the color gradient that you want to use, and then classify. Another thing, you have to change the symbol to a solid color inside, okay? Now let's classify and apply. Okay, and now it has a different color for each wine region. which is identified here on the for this layer. Now let's put it back again how it was. Single symbol, no fill inside, and a red border outside. Why? Okay. Now let's add the core-in-one cover to land use map, CLC 2018, and then just drag it to the project. Okay. Now this shapefile contains the type of each land use, okay, for Portugal. If you go here and click zoom to layers, you see that you have the core-in-one cover in the mainland of Portugal and also for the islands of Portugal. For this webinar, we are just going to focus on the mainland. And now let's cut this shapefile just for the borders of Portugal mainland. We are going to use a tool which is Clip. You can go here to get the tool, or you can also go here and you have some geometry tools and select the tool to use. Click it on geoprocessing tools. The input layer is going to be the core-in-one cover. The overlayer, which is going to do the shape to cut, it's going to be Portugal. Now, before we click OK, you can make a temporary layer, which is a layer that when you close the project and do not save it, basically the output file that is created just disappears. Or you can just save the file and select where you want to save it. We are going to save it on the QGIS webinar folder, output files. And let's call it CLC 2018 BP mainland. Save. And just click on run. And okay, we have a problem. This is a bug that is very common on QGIS. When you have an invalid geometry, do not worry. QGIS already has a tool to solve this type of problem. This tool is, let me try to. The tool is called Fix Geometries. Okay, just click it. The input layer is going to be core-in-one cover, which is the one that had a problem. Let's save the file. Let's save it as CLC fixed. CLC 2018 fixed. Then save and click run. Okay. Now let's remove the other file. And I think that this file right now it's ready to use for the clip without any problem. Clip. So the input layer is going to be the core-in-one cover fixed, and the other layer is going to be Portugal. Oh, I did not save this file here. I saved this file as a temporary file. When you do so, you normally have this symbol. Using temporary files, it's good when you are just it's good when you are just testing your tools, okay? Sorry, just let me try to fix this here. Okay. Using a temporary file, it's good when you are just testing, but I advise you to always save your files and also to save your project, okay? So when you save your project, you are not saving the files that you have created because they are already saved in the output files. But when you save your project, you are basically saving the project and the representation and order of your files that is being shown on QGIS, okay? Saving the files, it's different than saving your project. The project, you are just saving the representation. Let's call this webinar QGIS 2018. Okay. Now let's perform the quick. Okay, CLC, Portugal, and now let's save the file in a folder. Save to file. And then let's call it CLC 2018. You already had this file here produced previously, but it had problems with geometries. Now we are going to do the correct version of this file. Okay. So in the previous file, we had the mainland cover for Portugal, mainland and islands, like this. But now in the clipped version, one we have for Portugal mainland. Now let's open the attribute table of the land use map. And this is not telling us much because we basically do not have the identification of the land use types. You only have a code. Show here. Okay, you only have a code. Now let's we have to adapt the attribute table. We are going to get here the Coordinate cover labels here, drag it to the map, and when you open the attribute table of this file, you can see that you have the same codes as are shown in our shapefile, and we have the description of each code. So in our shapefile, we only have the numeric code. In the table, we have the code and the description of the correspondent land use for each code. And then we are going to make a join of both tables, which basically select the shapefile, add a join, select the table with the labels. The join is going to be made through the CLC code in this table, okay, with the labels, with the code 18 here, which is the code from the shapefile. Then just click OK, and you'll see that the table will have the shapefile attribute table will now have the description of each code. So go here, properties, join. Now we have to drag here the table first, sorry. Okay. Right click, properties, join. add a join. We are going to use this table here. Okay, this file, which is only a table, it does not have spatial representation. Select CLC code and code 18 and click OK. Close. Now open the attribute table of Parliament cover. And now you see that the join did not work. Okay. Properties, join. Oh, sorry, I have done it in the wrong file. Once more, properties, join, and join. Let's select CLC code and code 18, okay. And then click apply. Now let's see if it works. Okay, now it works. So right now we have the description of each code in our shapefile. Okay. Now we are going to do selection by attributes. As we are working on, we are going to map only the vineyard areas. We don't need all the land use types, okay? So for this, we are going to do a selection of by attributes. We open the attributes table, click on selecting features, and then we are going to create an expression for the selection. We are going to select the label 3. We are going for the column label 3 and select all the polygons that are vineyards, okay? So it's basically label 3 of the table equal to vineyards. And then just click on select features and you'll have a selection of only the areas that are vineyards. So let's do it. Let's do the selection. Okay, let's select fields and values. Label 3. And then select here all unique, where you have all the unique values, all the land use types according to label 3. Now let's select here. Here you are doing the expression for the selection. Here we want all the polygons whose label 3 equals to vineyards. And then select features, close. And now you can see in yellow that all the vineyards in Portugal are selected. After doing the selection, let's export our shapefile. And we are going to export only the selected features. We are not going to export the entire shapefile, but only the zones with vineyards. And let's save it as vineyards in our output files. So right click, export only the selected features. Okay, it's already in the, let's save it in the output files for this webinar. Let's call it vineyard. Save. Click OK. And then let's deactivate the coordinate cover. And now we have a shapefile with only the vineyards. Let's say change the symbology once more. Solid. Let's remove the outer border. No pen. Okay, now. Okay, now you can clearly see the vineyards according to Part-in-One cover 2018. So our next step is going to be to define an export layout where you are going basically to transform this map in an image. Okay, this is important to show the map in any report or thesis or research or whatever. This is a not very friendly user process, but after you do it 2 or 3 times, you are already adept to it. So when you are doing this, just be patient, okay? Project. Let's first thing, let's save our project. Now let's create the export layout. Let's go to Layout Manager. Let's create a new layout and let's save it as Vineyard. Where we are. Okay, now you can see that you have here, let me close the attribute tables, okay. Now you have here the project where we are representing the files. We have here the export, sorry, the export of this map that we have here. First thing, you are going to select the type of export. We are going to select an A4, the size of an A4 paper sheet. Okay. Click on the blank part, item properties. Let's change it to portrait. Now let's add the map, add an item, and add map. And then you have to select where it's going to be designed. Okay. Now, as you can see, we are very, Portugal is very far away. Let's make a zoom in. When you want to move the representation of the map, just click and drag. But when you want to zoom in here, you will have to click here and basically press, and then now you are moving basically moving the location of Portugal, but not changing where the representation is on the output paper sheet, okay? Okay, I think that like this is fine. Save. Now, when you are exporting a map, there are some elements that are essential. First one is the north arrow, okay, not that big. Indicating the direction of north. Next, it's important to add the scale bar, which is here. Click here, left click, and then here, click OK. It's a little bit big. Let's put it here, but it's not very visible. So we'll have to change the frame to a blank frame. Is it here, display, secondary field, no. Background, selected. and then select the color here of the background. I can make it red, but let's keep it like this. More. We have to add a label of the vineyards. Let's click here in add a legend, then design it. And as you see, it's not very friendly, okay? We just basically just want to show here the wine regions and the vineyards. So we are going to remove the other elements that are here, the other layers, okay? So to remove them, not from the image, but from the label, we'll have to go here, remove the update, right click, hide, right click, hide, and then right click. Just confirm something here. Let's remove this one. Okay, if you remove a layer here, update, oh, hide, hide. Okay. Now we have here the legends. You can also customize the size of the text here, like in fonts and text formatting. This is the items labels that we are showing here. We can change the font, we can change the size, okay. Let's make it bigger, 20. Let's put it here. And you can also change the text, how it's represented. So we have the file that it's called wine regions, but has an underscore here. You can just change it by clicking here, right click. Sorry, double left click. And then in the label, you can show it like this. Remove the underscore, add a space. And then as you can see, you are showing a different name. Now we have to add some grids to our map to know the location of each zone. Click here on the map. Then go to grids. Click on plus. Then double click modify grid, sorry. Now let's use this coordinate system. Use the map units, solid. The frame, let's use one border. It's not showing them. It's not showing yet. Just let me confirm here on the protocol. Something is missing. Default. Oh, yes, I forgot to add the interval. Okay. Now we have the grid here. Let's put it. Maybe select the color of the grid. Let's use a straight line. For the grid, let's use a straight line. Go back to grids, modify grid. Choose modify grid like this, it disappears. Now let's draw the coordinates, okay? We are going just to use on the left side and on the bottom of the map. So let's remove it from the right. Let's remove them from the top. The coordinate precision, let's make it a 0. Okay, just no decimal places. And then there are here some more tricks for the grid. Precision, interval. Oh. Yes, here the format, let's use decimal with suffix. Now you know if it is north, south, east, or west. Okay, you can change then the color of the grid to make it different, okay? Now, let's just change the zoom of the map. Okay. And now let's add a title. Click here. Okay. Call it vineyard. Okay. So we have here the text box to add a title. Let's call it vineyards in Portugal. Left click, change the text. Let's change the font for sure. Let's change the color and let's change the size. Okay. Let's make it visible. Here. Okay. And then save it. And then you can export as image. Just select where you want to save it. Export map. Save. Now let's see it. Okay, I'm sure that you can make it with better colors. Okay, this is just an example to how to export a map. Now, let's go for the second part of the webinar where we are going to work with raster files. First, we no longer need this. Let's save this and close. Okay, sorry. Before we start to work with raster files, I would like to show you another operation, which is the intersect. Okay. So when you select the polygon of the vineyard's shapefile, you can see that you have all these attributes, but this attribute table is essentially too long. You can also use the tool drop fields to remove the fields from shapefile and make it basically more simple with less information, okay? So we have here the attribute tables of vineyards, and after we remove part of the fields, the columns, it gets simple. So let's do this. Here, go to the processing toolbox, drop fields. We're going to select the vineyards, okay? We then click here to select the fields to drop. We're going to drop all these ones. Okay. And then let's save it in the output files as vineyards _2. Save, click on run. So we had this attribute table initially, and after dropping the fields, we have, okay, a much more simple attribute table. Now, here it's line, it's raw from the attribute table, it's a polygon with a vineyard. So let's select one, right click here and zoom to selected features. Okay. Open attribute table, and as you can see, it's raw, it's a polygon with a vineyard. Show selected features. So we know that this polygon is in the wine region of Algarve, but we do not have this information on the attribute table, okay? We only have this information when we are looking at the map. So if we intersect the vineyards shapefile with the wine regions, we will know the location of each vineyard polygon with each wine region. So let's use the tool intersect. Just separate. Sorry, intersection. Now let's intersect the shapefile vineyards with the wine regions. And let's save it as regions and vineyards. Save, run. And then close. So we can remove this one, need it. Now let's open the attribute table of the created shapefile. which probably I messed up here. No, not this. Let me repeat the process. So we are going to cross wine regions with vineyards too, which is here in the output files. Vineyards with wine regions, okay. Save it. I hope that now it works. Vineyards, wine regions. Okay. Now let's see if finally worked or not. Okay, perfect. So it's not this one. Okay, now it's going to happen. So let's make the intersection between the wine regions and with the vineyards, but with the file that has a shorter table, okay? The processing tools, intersection. Let's intersect vineyards tool with wine regions. Save the file. Okay, now I think this is I think that now it's correct. Open the attribute table. Okay, perfectly. Now we have the vineyards polygons with the respective wine region. So we are now selecting this polygon. Click here, zoom to selection. Okay. And now we are here selecting this polygon, which is already identified in the attribute table as in the Alentejo region. Okay, now we are going to work with the raster files with the temperature and precipitation data. Basically just going to drag the files to our map. Bio2 here you have the units. It's millimeters per year, and for bio 12 annual rainfall, it's in millimeters per year, and bio 1 average temperature, it's in Celsius. We are going to add these two raster files and then do a clip, which is a similar process that cuts the raster file. And okay, let's do it. And then you are going to clip it to cut it just to the shape of Portugal. So let's go to the input files. Just drag both raster files. And as you can see, these raster files are for the entire world, and we do not need that much information, okay? First, let's use the tool. Clip raster by mask layer. Let's do this for the temperature raster. The mask layer is going to be Portugal. And here, where you have no data, just put it as -99999. Let's now save this file, not temporary, save to file. Let's call it temperature. Save it and click run. Okay. And now, instead of having temperature for the entire world, you only have the file of temperature for Portugal. Now, let's do the same process for the precipitation raster file. Shows this file. Okay, this is an important step here for the no data to put it as minus 99999. Where do I do this? Here. Then save not to temporary, save as a file. Let's call it precipitation. Save, run. And then oops. Okay. Now, as you see, the colors are not very artistic, and let's now change the symbology of our the representation of our raster files. First, let's go for here for precipitation, properties, symbology. Select here single band pseudo-color. Do it this. Okay, and now we have the precipitation. Red zones with low precipitation, drier, and blue for zones with higher precipitation. Now, let's the same for temperature, but by classifying the raster file instead of having a continuous gradient. Okay. To do so, this is for precipitation. Sorry, for temperature. Let's let's put the interpolation as discrete. Mode put equal interval, so each color it's going to be for the interval of 1 Celsius. So if you put 13 classes, then classify and then okay. Let's go here for the symbology, symbol one, pseudo color, linear, discrete. Level precision, we can put it as 0. Equal interval, let's select 13 classes. So if you put 13 classes for the range of values, each one will have an interval of 1. Classify. Oh, and but we have here to change the order of the colors because let's put red for higher temperatures and blue for cooler temperatures. So click here, invert color rank, apply, and click OK. So, and now we have the representation of temperature by intervals of 1 Celsius. We can also change a little bit of the label. Here, the minimum temperature is 6.9. If you want to keep it as an equal interval, you can type like this, from 6 to 7, okay? And here you can put it, for example, for 18 to 19. But confirm that if the maximum temperature is 19, otherwise you cannot put it like this. Apply and okay. So now we have the two variables of climate data. But what do you want to know? It's not the climate in the entire Portugal, but the climate on each vineyard. Okay, exactly in each vineyard. So just remember, in the attribute table of regions and vineyards, we don't. The attribute table of regions and vineyards, in each row, basically you have a polygon of vineyard. Now let's collect the climate data for each vineyard polygon. To do so, you have to do use the zone of statistics tool. The input layer, it's going to be regions and vineyards. And let's first select the raster layer of temperature. Let's make here the column suffix T for temperature. And let's select the statistics that we want to calculate for each polygon. So let's select first just the mean. And save to a file. Let's select temperature GST. Save and click on run. Okay, the output is a shapefile equal to the regions and vineyards. But this shapefile contains the average temperature on each polygon. Let's select here one, for example. Here in mean, zoom to the selection. Okay, we are selecting this polygon. Let's open the attribute table and show the selected features. Here, as you can see, it tells that the average temperature in this polygon is 13.2 Celsius. And this average, it's basically the average of the temperature pixels that are below the shapefile, okay? And the temperature pictures here contain values from around from 12, I think, from this color to something like 14, 15. Now, let's do the same zone of statistics, but now for the temperature, for the precipitation raster. Regions and vineyards, make sure that you are not selecting any polygon. The raster layer is going to be precipitation. And the suffix is going, let's put it as P for precipitation. But now let's calculate more statistics. Let's select mean, count, minimum, and maximum. Then let's go back. Select, we are going to save the file. Let's save it as precipitation GST. Now click on run. Pause. And now let's open our attribute table. Now for each vineyard polygon, we know the number of pixels, the average precipitation, the minimum precipitation, and the maximum precipitation. Let's select a polygon. Okay, this one is good. Let's zoom to the selected polygon here. Open the attribute table. And let's just only show the selected features. Okay, and now let's interpret here the values here of the attribute table. P count, it's basically the number of pixels of the rainfall raster that are inside of this polygon, okay? Each pixel basically has a resolution of 1 kilometer, so it's 1 kilometer length and 1 kilometer height. P mean, it's the minimum precipitation detected, which is the value of the pixel with the lowest precipitation. P max, it's the maximum, the pixel with the maximum precipitation, 780 millimeters. And P min, it's the average of all the pixels, okay? Now let's show all features. Let's remove the selection. And now let's export the attribute table. First, let's export the attribute table of the temperature zone of statistics file. You have two options to export the attribute table. First, you can go here. Select the entire attribute table, Control C to copy. Then just open a blank Excel file. And then Control V to paste the attribute table with all the files. Now you have a different option. You can use a specific tool to do this. So to use this tool, you have to install the plugin, manage and install plugins. Click here. The tool is called QGIS, which I already have installed. You just go, if you don't have it installed, just go here and instead of having reinstall, just have the install button. After installing, the tool is available here. You can click here, go to the export tab and attributes export to CSV file. Now let's do it for the precipitation ZST file. Select all the fields that you want to export. I'm going to select all of them. And then just select the path where you want to export it. Let's call it precipitation ZST file. Click on save. And then just apply. Now let's confirm this in the output folder. And then you have here the CSV file with all the data. It's not very well organized. Just click here, data, the problems, the limited. It's limited with a comma, finish. Okay, and now it's organized. Save it and close it. Okay, and now with all the attribute tables, you can do a statistical analysis to compare the precipitation and temperature in each wine region, in each vineyard in the specific wine regions. And then you can access the temperature and rainfall values. And honestly, my favorite, the wines that I really like are from the region of Alentejo, that come from a region with low precipitation, and higher temperatures, so a more drier climate. Now, thank you for your attention, and I will give you the challenge to basically try to reproduce this webinar, but for using Montenegro data, okay? You have to download the Core-in-One cover. You can apply this webinar, but instead of using vineyards, you can use forest or agricultural areas. That's up to you. In case you have any question, just have here my email. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Antonio. Yes, it was really, I believe that it was really insightful for us, but also for our research students, and hopefully that really they will make use of it for the vineyards in Montenegro, as you suggested.
Okay, thank you very much for your attention. And if you have any further questions, or just send me an email if you have too many questions, we can even schedule a question session. And thank you for participating in this webinar.
Thank you.
So just stop recording.